Hey everyone, so in this how-to, going to be doing the timing belt and all associated with that, and also the water pump. So I've already started a little bit. You're going to need to take your radiator out. I'm going to give that a flush as well. So disconnect battery. Obviously you're going to start to get the radiator out. So you get the fan shroud out, which is bolt here and down the bottom, and the same on the other side. The Prados have got a nice little drain plug on there, so you just drain all the coolant out. So yeah, essentially his first start is to get the radiator out, and then we'll start going through that bit there. Right, now you've got the radiator out. I've actually also just let my tyres down because it makes it easier to work on the car. So undo your hoses and everything, take the radiator out. The next thing you want to do, and the fan shroud, is undo your fan bolts. So it's just these bolts just in there. So undo 4 of them. Pull that off, and then we'll undo the time belt cover, which is these ones here. Get that off, and then we'll get all the fan belts off as well. So you've got a AC tensioner, loosen that one, that should come off, and then you'll need to undo your alternator tensioner, which is that little one down there. You need to loosen it off, but you also need to then loosen the actual, see it, the actual locking bolt, which is that one just there. So you just crack that so it's a little bit loose, and then do your tensioner, and then you'll be able to get your actual alternator fan belts off there as well. So we'll do that, and then we'll show you the next step. Alright, now we've got the time cover off. I've also taken off all the fan belts, and like I said, you've got that bolt there to undo up the, where it is there, that one there on the alternator, so you undo all of them, then you get the belts off. You want to get your marks all lined up, so for your top dead center, so you get one on the camshaft, one on your crank pulley, and there's one on the just there on the timing, the pump. So you get all them lined up. I've loosened this the pulley off so we can do the camshaft, sorry, the crankshaft seal, and we'll do the same. We'll do the seal on the camshaft and on the pump seal as well. To get this off, put a great big socket and an extension spanner on it, put it over here and turn the car over. Cracked it. So now we've obviously undone the crank pulley. We did that whilst holding a socket in here in the crank, and then cracking both them, their crankshaft and the pump one. Now what we're going to do is undo the tensioner pulley and the tension itself to get the timing belt off. Just a note, when you are undoing that, if you don't want to start it, put it in 4th gear. Hot tip, put it in 4th gear. Alright, now the next step of I'm doing the water pump, obviously, like I said earlier, is you need a puller, or I used the pry bar in behind the camshaft pulley, pulled that off, and then the camshaft goes in there like that, and has lots of different bolts in there, all just 10mm. So you undo them and give it a small pry, because you've got a little bit of gasket sealant just here. The reason I'm taking this off is so I can get the whole part of the water pump out. If you're just doing this bit, you don't have to, but I'm replacing the whole lot as it's never been done before, and I'm also replacing the camshaft seal as well. So but I'll take all that off. Now to get all of those bolts, you undo all those bolts for the camshaft, pull that out. You also need to take the alternator out and undo the alternator bracket. So there's 2 bolts at the front, and then there's 2 bolts around the side there for that bracket to come off, which looks like this. Goes on the engine like that. So they are the front 2, they are the side 2, both 12mm. Take that out. So the next step is to undo the actual water pump itself. So which are the 2 bolts here you've undone with the bracket already, and then you've got ones that go around the outside. There's a couple up there. So then that whole lot will come off, and then we'll go through. I've also undone this to replace the crank seal. I've left that in there at the moment. This one comes out, well, mine came out really easy, but that goes in, so this is part of the seal. So as soon as you take it out, that seal and all the is exposed, so I've left it in there till that's the last point once we've cleaned and got all the crap out the way. And then you'll just need some gasket goo for around here, so we need to clean all this up, and down along the bottom here of the along the fuel pump. So we'll clean all that up properly before we obviously put new gasket goo on there. So now we've got the water pump out and we've taken the whole housing and everything out. We're just cleaning everything up. So that's the water pump housing and then the oil plate that goes on here. So we're cleaning all of that up to take on the new gasket and everything like that. And also we'll do this is the oil retaining plate with a seal. So I've got a new seal to go in there, so I've cleaned up that back side, put a new seal on there, and then we'll put some ultra black gasket goo through here and across the top for it to go back onto the car. So now I've cleaned up all the surfaces where the oil plate goes back on and where the water pump is. The next step before we start putting stuff back in is going to do the thermostat, which is this bit just there. So there's a couple of bolts that you need to undo. So you got to take the dipstick bolt off, which is hidden down under there. There's about 3 or 4 bolts holding on the thermostat housing. So you undo all that, and then you pull that whole lot out to replace the thermostat. A bit of a prick, but they're all 10mm bolts from memory to get them out. So that's the thermostat housing, that's all out, and I've just given that a quick clean on there. These ones don't have any goo or anything in them. And again, using genuine part, that's the gasket for it here. And that just goes around that there. And here's the old one, just like that, which is all you need to seal it. And then it goes back in there with the gasket like that. Job done. So you can see there's 2 bolts on there and then 1 down there near the block. You do need to try and get the dipstick puller out. So this is doing the front crank seal. So that just slides off. Just watch out you don't lose the woodruff key. This one's stuck in pretty well, but the same, there's one on the top of the camshaft. That one came out really easy, so just put them aside. Make sure you put them back in. So to get the seal out, I found an easy way. Just put a screw in it, and then yeah, just got to pull the seal out like that. Job done. And I've checked to make sure before I pulled that out that I've got the a new right seal, that's the new one there. Push the new one in, and whenever you put new seals in, just put a little bit of grease just around about the surface that contacts the spinning surface, and that's about it. When you do push these in, just make sure you push them in square and then back to the same place as where you took them out. Just an update, we've now got the water pump on. You need to do these up to about a 14mm torque, and we've got the oil retainer plate on. They're a 10mm with the silicone around there on the back plate, and then through there the ultra black gasket goo. Got the alternator back on, so all those bolts have been done up to, I think they're about a 22 torque reading on them, and now we're putting on the timing belt. So we'll start with the cam cog. We'll put that on. Make sure you put the woodruff key back in there, and then we'll start putting the tensioner arm tensioner on, the pulley on, and then the new belts will go on. So we've got the new timing belt on. As you can see, I'm using a factory part, funnily enough, but they've actually got timing marks on the camshaft and on the actual injector pump. Now we're just going to chuck in the new tensioner pulley. Make sure you got the washer on the back, which is that little one there, so it actually rotates. So I'm not sure which way it goes on. Let's take a picture before you take it off. So once we've got that done up, we'll do that up to a torque, and then we'll do that up, and then we'll get the hydraulic tensioner, which goes down there and pulls in. So now we've done that up, that one there is about 35 Newton meters, and the two retaining bolts for the tensioner are 13. So now we're just going to pull the pin out. Well, like I said, I've got all the marks lined up. There's two, one on your pump, camshaft, and the crankshaft pulley. So I'll pull that out. Job done. That's all tight to what it needs to be. Don't have to worry about that. So now we've got that all done up. We need to now do the crank and the timing pulleys all done up to spec. So everything's now buttoned up, put the cover back on, new clips, all the bolts done up. Now we're just about to put the fan and pulley for the water pump on, and then we'll do the alternator fan belts, do them up, and then put the AC fan belt on. And then I'm going to flush the radiator system and then put a new radio on. So to take it out, it's pretty much, well, take it out, same process to put it back in. You do need to get a book if you're going to do this. Get the workshop manual is the best way to do it. This is just a quick guide. If you know what you're doing, you can do it. If you have no idea or no mechanical minded, please don't attempt it, you'll have issues. Alright, so now we've got the fan belt all done up. So fan belts all done up, and the pulley and all the bolts done up for that. Done the tensioner up. I have just turned it over and it all starts. So yeah, now we're just going to flush the radiator, some water. We'll flush the engine and the bleed screw for the block, which is painfully hard to see, but it's down a bit further in there. You can't really see it. It's underneath the oil filter with a little 10mm bolt, and then a line that comes off, like a metal line that comes off that way. So I'll undo that and I'll flush it out, and I'll put the Toyota coolant in there, which is a concentrate. That's that one there. So that's 4 litres, but it's a 50-50 mix, so essentially this takes 8 litres. So you put the whole lot of that in, fill it up with distilled water, and then you are all good to go. So all done. Time belt, water pump, thermostat are all finished. It is now the next day. We finished up pretty late as we stopped for lunch for a fair while. So the whole job working, if you worked on it by yourself or with a mate, probably get it done in around about 4 or 5 hours. If you're just doing the time belt, probably an hour and a half. If you start doing water pump and then seals and stuff, it obviously takes longer. So around about 5 hours. I would recommend getting a book to do it. If you're not mechanically minded, don't start it. You could cock it up quite badly if you get the timing wrong and stuff like that. So, but everything kind of went well. Like I said, it's about a day after, and no leaks or anything like that. I just need to top up the coolant. It's just a little bit between half and full. So everything went really well. It's pretty disappointing when you spend that kind of money getting all parts and everything like that, and nothing really changes. It's just the way it is when you do maintenance on your car. So this is 300,000 k's now. I shouldn't have to do the time belt, water pump for at least another 150. Time belt is 150, water pump could be longer. It's a factory one that was on there, so that's been 300,000 k's. And I only had a little bit of play in there in the bearing, and a little bit of weeping. I'll show you where the drain plug is, so you can actually see if you're checking with the mirror, you can see if it actually is leaking before you've even taken it off to see whether you needed to order parts. So I'll show you that now. So this is the original water pump. Essentially it sits on the car like that. You can see down there, you've got a little bit of green, sorry not green, red, that's the drain plug or drain if the water pump starts to leak around the seal, so it comes out there. You can see there's a little bit that has been coming out of there. So some people you can just replace this bit. That's the actual pump, the pump bit. I replaced the whole kit and caboodle. That's why it takes a little bit longer, because then you got to get the alternator off, that plate, the time belt oil cover plate that goes there. So it is the same price to get both. I've just gotten both. I've used the factory style seals, which are the metal One's no gasket gear or anything needed, just got to clean both surfaces and put them on. And I use a genuine bump, timing belt, tensioner and pulley and everything like that. So we're all done. The only thing I do now is just put a little sticker on to tell me when I've done it, if I haven't written it down somewhere or someone else buys the car. So if you've enjoyed the video, just give it a thumbs up. Any questions, give us a yell. Cheers, bye.